Rest in peace to Bill Walton, the Basketball Hall of Famer, recently passed away from cancer at the age of 71. Several years ago, we actually had a chance to sit down and speak with him about his late father, and he admitted that he had let him down twice.
When we started having children, I'm William Theodore Walton III. My dad is the second. He never asked for anything. But then one day my dad said, hey, you're having children. Would you please name one of them William Theodore Walton IV? And I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't mature enough to know how serious that ask was. So I let him down that time. And then at the end of his life, I was in charge, and he was going downhill, and he was in and out of the hospital all the time. And then one day he looked at me and reached out his hand, and he said, Bill, I don't want to die in the hospital. I want to die at home here. Passed away in the hospital, yeah, and I was there for that too.
Now, regrets, they're, useless once somebody passes. Can you guys structure an estate plan so that wishes are carried out so that the surviving family is left without those regrets?
Absolutely, we can do our best to try to help out. And, we have seen, obviously, and probably our listeners have seen families be ripped apart, when somebody passes away within the family. And in fact, on the flip end of the scale, you can see the issues that a lot of our celebrities face, even with like Elvis Presley's daughter and what she, with her passing away and the issues going on with her estate. Prince, we've talked about that in the past, and other famous people. Not having a proper estate plan is a good way to destroy a family. What an estate plan can do for your family's financial future is a ton of things. The first advice that I would give you is work with an attorney who specializes in estate planning. I'm not an attorney, I'm a retirement income specialist, but working with hundreds of families over the course of my lifetime, and unfortunately, either personally having family members who've passed away, some with some planning and some with not, I can see, the big benefits. And what I would say is, number one, the big benefit is clear communication can help reduce and eliminate disputes. So for anything, if you do it just to eliminate, the possibility of disputes, by having what your wishes are clearly communicated in your estate plan, that in itself is worth taking the time to put your estate plans together. Number two is it can help minimize taxes. So things like, how you own an account, maybe whether an account is owned within a trust, whether accounts that are owned jointly, or whether, having accounts that are listed as paid on death. Certain taxable accounts get different tax treatments based upon, what's called stepped-up basis, as does real estate. So knowing how things are owned can be a positive. Probate avoidance. Probate is a process to get assets from your name to somebody else's name, and it can be a costly and a lengthy and public process. So to avoid the expenses and the time delay of probate is while you go through doing your estate planning to try to take steps to minimize, the wasted time and delay and costs of probate expenses. You can have some protections for a beneficiary. I had minors. My kids are now, both mostly grown, but, when they were young, having some language inside of there that, heaven forbid, something happened to mom and dad, addressing what that issue was of who was going to raise our minor children was important to us. Reducing the stress of a crisis when somebody is incapacitated, not having the power of attorney and the correct legal documents, and you're going to leave your child or your spouse in a real tough situation if they need that legal document. Keeping your information private, and there's ways to, through estate planning, you can keep it private. And last is peace of mind. So what we can do for you is, if you are thinking about, what can your estate plans do for you and how do you get started, give our office a call. What we can do is we can send you a copy of the Ultimate Estate Planning Checklist. That Ultimate Estate Planning Checklist is going to be the first step of getting it in the right direction. And as a listener to our show, we'd be happy to get you a copy of that.
To reach out, to just give a call, 419-794-3030. As you're approaching retirement, you want to make sure you have, all your T's crossed, all your I's dotted. And that doesn't include getting to retirement, but through retirement and beyond that as well, making sure that, hopefully your plans are executed the way you want them to be, and that, your family is left without those regrets. The Ultimate Estate Planning Checklist Guide can help with that, certainly. 419-794-3030 to receive your complimentary copy. You can also go to the website and request it there, arhq.com. And we want to thank you, as we always do, for joining us here on America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula and America's Medicare Associates. Hope you have a great week ahead of you. Hope you stay safe out there and enjoy some of this lovely summer weather we've had. Nolan, as always, grateful for your time. And as we wrap up, I'd like to leave you with the final word.
I'd say just remember, when you think retirement, think America's Retirement Headquarters. It's home of the Retirement Guys Formula and America's Medicare Associates.